To Top Wisdom. Today's topic is contemporary socio-economic issues. That is chapter 3, grade 11. Contemporary socio-economic issues. So without wasting any time, I'm going to cover up this topic as fast as possible because this is a very, very long topic. So I'm going to start with the terms and definition. Term: economic crime, known as white-collar crime and committed in business for personal financial gain, e.g., for example, is fraudulent transaction. Inefficient use of natural resources, wasting of scarce resources through negligence or incorrect production methods. Population growth, percentage change in population results from births or deaths or migration. Strikes, refusal to work two or more employees in an effort of pressurizing employees to give in to their demands. Corruption, this involves dishonesty activities in which a person entrusted with authority in a business abuses his or her position of trust in order to achieve some personal gain. Dumping, it is when other countries dump their access of products on the SA market to dominate the local market. Sexual harassment involves unwelcome or unwanted attention of sexual nature from someone at work that causes discomfort and humiliation and offense. Piracy, unauthorized use of reproduction or copyright of original music, films, books, or computer software, patent rights and trademarks without the consent of the rightful owner. Ethical conduct, acting in a ways that consistent with the person's values of the organization and society. Patent, exclusive rights granted for a new invention. Copyright, exclusive right given to a creator of an original work. Trademark, a symbol, word, or combination of words legally registered by use of representing a company or a product. Workplace forums, representative of employees in a business of 50 employees upwards who are delegated to act on behalf of employees within the business. Inflation, general increase in the price of goods and services in the country. Retrenchment, involuntary ending of service contrary of an employee by the employer due to operational requirements. Patent, exclusive right granted for a new invention. Trade union, an organization, association of workers in a trade, group of trades or profession formed to protect their rights and interests. Strike, a work stoppage as a form of protest or a strengthening one's beginning position. Lockout, when an employer keep their employees from their places of work until certain terms of a negotiation are agreed upon. Industrial action, these are actions that include strikes or go slow. Trade unions, an organized association of workers in a trade, group of trades or profession formed to protect their rights and interest. Strike, a work stoppage as a form of protest or to strengthen one's bargaining position. Lockout, when an employer keep their employees from their places of work until certain terms of negotiation are agreed upon. Those are all the terms and definition, as you know, and unfortunately I'm sure you got your notes, you know the terms and definition. I was just reading them aloud. Now I'm just going to the real deal now, which is contemporary socio-economic issue. Meaning and impact of contemporary socio-economic issues on the business. Low income levels. Meaning of low income levels. South Africa has one of the greatest inequalities in income in the world. This is due to the largest differences in salaries between high earnings and low earners. I think that explains itself. For example, let me make an example. Which lawyers earn around are not lawyers actually. Doctors earn around 100 and something thousand. Then the minimum wage, people who you see every day who work regular jobs will earn about 3,500. So that's a large gap. Impact of low income levels on businesses leads to decrease in the demand for goods and services, resulting in a fall in turnover and lower profits for businesses. So if people are earning less income, obviously the buying will be low, especially when the goods are expensive. People who earn low salaries and wages may become disheartened. This will influence productivity in a negative way. Consumers shift to cheaper brands or certain products. Poverty can lead to crimes such as shoplifting or robberies. This is very straightforward because when there is poverty and people are hungry, they will obviously steal. Inflation, meaning of inflation. Inflation refers to the general increase in the prices of all products in the country. It leads to the decrease in the purchasing power of money. So inflation is based on when the products are increasing, prices are increasing. For example, bread in 2010 it was 12 rand Alban bread, but now it's 18 rand. So that's inflation. That's what we talk about when we talk about inflation. Impact of inflation on businesses. Inflation increases the cost of raw materials and other inputs. This leads to optimum productivity, whereby businesses has to produce the maximum possible output using the least possible input. It decreases consumer spending, resulting in to decrease in sales and profitability. So as you can see here, as I'm saying, that it decreases consumer spending because goods obviously are becoming more expensive, so consumers are not likely to buy when they are more expensive. Employees may be retrenched, which increases unemployment and decreases buying power even further. Social, cultural and demographic issues. Meaning of social, cultural and democratic issues. Social and cultural factors have an impact on the market environment because they shape the way people live, work or produce or consume. Demographic factors are defined as characteristics of population of a country, e.g. age distribution, the gender ratio, and the racial composition of the country. Impact of social, cultural, democratic issues on businesses. Different groups of people with different cultures will behave differently as consumers, which will affect the business marketing strategy and sales. So this is based on the religions. People have different beliefs, so others will tell you that they need to wear a certain cloth to follow their religious belief. New fashion and cultural trends create different kinds of consumers, which may result in the reduction of sales and existing products. Some businesses may not keep abreast with current trends and they may lose their market share because of how the people, when they have religious belief, they believe in a certain thing, so they will tell you, I will not wear this and this and this. So the business may be affected, as I'm explaining. Economic crime. Meaning of economic crime is also known as white collar crime. It includes the following criminal activities: fraud, which refers to the unauthorized use of funds; money laundering, which refers to hiding the source of income of money that was obtained illegally. A key feature of economic crime is that money is stolen from business through the use of intellectual skills and deception. Impact of economic crime on businesses. Loss of income if the money was stolen from a business. Loss of jobs if a business closes down. Business may lose investors because obviously if many people know that this business is used for money laundering, many investors will just shift away. Leads to decrease in investors' confidence, resulting poor economic and business growth. Ethical misconduct. Meaning of ethical misconduct. These are socio-economic issues that occur inside the business that also represent threats and challenges to the business. Ethical can be defined as acting in a ways that are consistent with the person's value. Ethical misconduct can be defined as any behavior by employees of businesses that is not consistent with values of the business, not respecting the business values. So you actually doing anything that you like, or even anything that is wrong in the business that you know that is wrong. If you have a brain, you know that this is wrong. Typical of ethical misconduct: sexual harassment. As we know, sexual harassment is wrong. Sexual harassment in a workplace involves unwelcome and unwanted conduct of sexual nature from someone at work that causes discomfort. Touching person in a wrong way, touching a woman in the wrong way at the workplace, or trying to have sex with the person, or taking advantage with the person in a wrong way. Obviously, it's wrong to take advantage, or promising, you bring promises, then in return you must have sex with the person. That's wrong also. Corruption refers to the any act of dishonesty such as bribery, theft, collusion, and kickbacks. It occurs when two parties enter into an illegal but mutual beneficial agreement. Mismanagement of funds. Mismanagement of funds refers to the wrongful use of funds that do not belong to a person. This involves dishonesty activities in which a person entrusted with authority in a business abuses his or her position of trust in order to achieve some personal gain. This is also mismanagement, when you try to take advantage of somebody because of your power. Impact of ethical misconduct on the business. Employees who have been victims of sexual harassment may experience a lack of concentration because they are traumatized, obviously. Corruption and mismanagement of funds will lead to a loss of income. Corruption undermines businesses and negatively influence investment, by the way. Mismanagement of funds can cause the business to lose a large amount of money through direct fraud and theft. Population growth. Meaning of population growth. The word population refers to the number of people in a country. A population experiences growth when the number of people are born in a particular year exceeds the number of people who dies during the same year. It is a percentage change in the population resulting from birth, deaths, and migration. Impact of population growth on businesses. Excessive growth increases unemployment and crime. Obviously, when people increase, more unemployment will be there. The municipal and health service may be expensive, resulting in the consumer having less money to spend on other products. Because there is more demand, the price must increase. So those who do not have enough money will be affected. More land will be used to build houses, which mean a decrease in agricultural land and decrease to basic food supply. Consumers will have less income and businesses will have a decrease in sales. Illiteracy. Meaning of illiteracy. Illiteracy refers to a person who cannot read or write. Illiteracy refers to a person who cannot read or write, which is when you are illiterate, you cannot read or write. Many illiterate people cannot find work as most jobs require some reading and writing skills. Impact of illiteracy on businesses. Businesses sometimes need to employ people even though they do not have the correct skills. Training of those employees can be very costly, and the business may suffer a financial loss. Employees without the correct skills can also be cause of accidents in the workplace. This could impact on the image of the business. Difficult to market products to people who cannot read or write. Lack of skills. Meaning of lack of skills. South Africa currently experiencing severe skills shortage in some fields such as education, medicine, engineering, and finance industries. Impact of lack of skills on businesses. Businesses cannot find candidates with adequate skills and experiences. Businesses end up appointing a candidate who lacks certain skills, resulting in poor products and services. This happens because many people have not studied a certain field, so they lack skills. Training employees in expensive and productivity will be affected, as it takes time for new trained employees to learn his or her new job. The cost of labor becomes expensive as some businesses recruit candidates from abroad. This ends up happening, guys, and most of people have been complaining about this, which businesses end up hiring people outside South Africa from Zimbabwe, because in South Africa we lack skills. Unavailability of natural resources. Meaning of unavailability of resources. Some natural resources such as oil, coal, water, gold are scarce. As we know, gold is scarce. The above mentioned natural resources may be used up if they are not monitored. Impact of unavailability of resources on businesses. The unavailability of coal has led in part of a shortage of electricity in South Africa. Now you guys know why there is load shedding. You already know why there is load shedding. Unavailability of coal. Many businesses lose millions of rands because of load shedding and power failure. This happens currently in 2023. If you're watching this video now, obviously it's 2023. It's good for you because you are witnessing it in the news. Many businesses are closing down because of load shedding. The lack of transport due to the scarcity of oil, which is used to manufacture fuel, may affect the businesses. When the supply of natural resources is threatened, it may have a negative impact on the operation of businesses and hampers production processes. Inefficiency in the use of resources. Meaning of inefficiency use of resources. Sorry about that. Inefficient use of resources implies that resources are being wasted. The wasting leads to further depletion of the natural environment and threatens the future supply of natural resources. More resources are used as the population grows. Impact of inefficiency in the use of resources on the businesses. Businesses cannot continue with their operation if natural resources are depleted. Loss of productivity. If businesses operation come to a halt due to unavailability of natural resources because they are needed. When you're wasting them, you are costing the business big time. Exhaustion of natural resources. Meaning of exhaustion of natural resources. This refers to the overuse of natural resources leading to exhaustion. Impact on inefficiency, exhaustion of natural resources on businesses. The supply and quality of natural resources may decline. Some natural resources may be scarce, possibly be exhausted in future because they can't be there forever. At some point, they must we must use them. We must use all of them. Dumping. Meaning of dumping. It is when goods enter South Africa from other countries at a price that is cheaper than the normal value of goods because more was produced than what that country can use. When companies in the developed world send goods that they have been unable to sell in their own countries to countries in a developing world where they are sold below a normal asking price. Dumped products are usually cheaper than South African products. Impact of dumping on businesses. Loss of profits for as some local producers cannot compete with cheaper prices. As you know, guys, when you see that in Joburg when they are selling clothes that are fake, things that are fake, it affects other businesses. So that is part of dumping. Like you dump some products and it's cheap. It's way cheaper than a normal price. So it affects local business most of the time. Businesses may lose revenue and be forced to shut down their operation. That happens when business lose too much money. Can lead to decrease in a local production and loss of jobs. Local businesses are unable to produce some products at an equal or lower price. Because they can't do this and they can't compete, they must close down the businesses, and when they close down the businesses, more unemployment is there. Strikes. Meaning of strikes. A strike can be defined as a collective organized stopping of work by employees to force their employers to accept their demands. Strikers is usually the result of a labor dispute and it takes place when employees refuse to work. The most reasons why employees usually strike including wages, working hours, and working conditions. Impact of strikes on businesses. Strikes scares off potential investors. Businesses may be forced to close down, especially those located in township. May result in losses of production and employees stay absent from the work during strikes because they are not there, the production stops. May businesses suffer losses of results of damage to property. When people start looting and using violence, many businesses suffer because of that. So strikes they also scare investors. Piracy. Meaning of piracy. Piracy is unauthorized use of reproduction of another person's original work. Impact of piracy on businesses. It can undermine the music movie industry as they lose money. This happens most time on music industry. Drivers up the prices of products in order to compensate for the loss in their sales. Drives up the price of products. Leads to job losses in industry. The music industry feel reluctant to develop new talent as the element of risk is too high, may cause damage in the value of the business. So pirates, they basically steal someone's work and or duplicate it or something like that. It happens almost most of the time on music industries. Possible solutions to piracy in ways in which business can deal with piracy. Patent. A patent presents other people not to produce this and sell same product, specific service. Businesses can take out a patent for new inventions and include a sample of their invention with applications. They must register a patent with the Patent Office in South Africa. The invention must comply with the Patent Act number 57 or 1978. Trademarks. Businesses can trademarks to identify themselves and their products. They must register their trademarks with the register on trademarks at the company's and intellectual property registration. A registered trademark is protected forever provided it is renewed only 10 years and renewed fee is paid. Claim damages from someone who infringes the trademark. Business can sue someone in infringes copyright, which now we are under copyright. They can also sue someone who sells and distributes works that he or she knew were infringements of copyright. They can take legal action against people who copy their products. So one of the things you must remember, you must be able to identify copyright, patent, and trademark forms, scenarios, case study statements. So this is based on case studies. So you must know these things. You must know what the patent focus is on, and what the trademark focus is on, and what the copyright focus is on. So copyright focuses most of the time in suing, like when someone steals your products or something like that, you sue them. Trademarks is when you register your business or some, and register your product and claim that it is yours. Meaning industrial relations. Industrial relations refers to relations between employees and employers. It influences the way in which businesses are guided in labor relations. Types of industrial action. Strikes. A strike is when employees stop working completely. Employees do not get paid days spent on strikes. Strikes represent the final stage of dispute, disagreement between management and employees. The purpose of the strike is to force the employees to agree to demand of the strikes. I've already explained that one. Go slow. Go slow is a collective industrial action taken by workers to protest against an employer. Workers work slowly as possible and reduce production output. Employees still have to be paid as they are doing their work, whereas they do not get paid when they go on strikes. Lockout. A lockout occurs when an employer locks employees out of the workplace. Employers often lock employees out of during a strike to ensure the safety of their premises, equipment, working conditions. A lockout is illegal if it is complies with requirements of a Labor Relations Act. As you can see, lockouts, they just lock them out so that they shouldn't come in and damage their products. Purpose of Labor Relations Act provides a framework where employers, trade unions, and employees work together to discuss matters relating to employers' wages, conditions, and employment. Promotes orderly negotiation and employees' participation in decision making in the workplace. Promotes resolution of labor disputes. Promotes their fair employment practices. Trade unions, which you have learned in grade 9. Meaning of trade unions. A trade union is an organization that protects of lobbies for the rights and workers and represents the interest of negotiating with employees. Reasons of establishment of trade union: engaging in industrial actions such as protest and strikes, taking a political action to influence the government strategy, establishing minimum economic and legal conditions, providing protection for their members. Engaging collective bargaining for better terms and conditions. You have learned this in grade 9. So basically, trade unions focuses on protecting the rights of employees. Yeah, it protects the rights of employees. So if you have that, if you can catch that protect the rights of employees, you can be able to write all of this and you can be able to remember all of this. It protects the rights of employees. Engaging in industrial action such as protests and strikes. Engage there, taking political action to influence the government strategy. So you can underline protest and strike in government strategy. It takes political action. Roles of trade unions serves as mechanisms through which employees have a collective voice in workplace. As I've said, that it takes the sides of employees, so they must make sure that they have a voice and they have a saying in the workplace. Unions communicate to companies, management, and members grievances such as unfair dismissal, low wages, and conditions of services. They ensure that employees include employees in the decision-making process. Employers, by the way. They ensure that employees are treated fairly and respected. Functions of trade unions improves conditions of employment, ensures that all employees are treated equally in the workplace. It ensures that all employees are treated fairly. Representing the interest of general society and minority groups through media and negotiations, influencing government decisions. So that's a role of the trade unions to stick with the employees and make sure that employees are treated well in the workplace and everything goes well for employees in the workplace, such as they have a saying. If there's a problem, they can talk to them and they can fix the situation. So that's the role of trade unions. So you can just read this aloud and underline the key points so that you can underline the key points. As long as you remember what's the function of trade unions, you may remember all of its roles and functions. But if you don't know what what is trade unions, you obviously forget everything that you have read when you are about to write the exam. So guys, this is all you need to know about the chapter, which is the long chapter. This is probably the longest chapter I've ever done. Contemporary socio-economic issues. I might make in part 2 where I explain even further. I didn't want to make the video to be long. If you want a part 2, just stick to it. Say you want a part 2 and tell me which topic should I stick on. If you didn't understand the topic of piracy, I'll just get onto it and focus onto it and explain all of it. So guys, don't forget to subscribe and like the video and share the video so that others will get the same lesson.